That's an interesting question because we're not really open to the public. In fact, I think that's one of the pivotal things. The health department says
1 minute ago, Eustace Conway revealed shocking truths about Turtle Island Preserve, and no one expected the mountain man to finally speak. For years, he protected the secrets behind the show, but turning 64 pushed him to break his silence. People began asking what could be so serious that the most private man on Mountain Men suddenly felt the need to confess. When early rumors claimed he was involved in a scandal, fans were stunned because Eustace had always lived a quiet life. Yet behind that calm face, there was a wild, untold story waiting to come out, and now everything is finally surfacing. The moment his admission spread, even the deepest corners of the woods felt the shock. At 64, he finally confirmed what fans had whispered for years, that maybe the legendary wild man on television was not living exactly as he appeared. The reporter who heard the confession said it was juicier than a fresh moose steak cooking at dawn. On Mountain Men, Eustace positioned himself as someone who stood against modern life with every breath. He once claimed he could live without electricity or government or even toothpaste, and viewers believed every word because he lived like a man carved out of another century. But all of that changed when he admitted the modern world was not as terrible as he once declared. Fans gasped because they had spent years watching him chop wood like a ritual. Wearing the same shirt for weeks, living what looked like a perfectly raw life. But now he admitted that the simple life he showed on screen was heavier than anyone realized. The man who built Turtle Island Preserve, as a symbol of life without modern touch, confessed that he had slowly allowed a few comforts into his world. When the news broke, social media exploded with jokes and disbelief. Some said the last American mountain man had finally joined everyone else. Others teased that he was probably streaming in the woods with a solar-powered tablet. For years, he preached that civilization was toxic, and now he admitted that enjoying a warm shower was not a crime. His friends were shocked and wondered how long he had been living a double life. Fans questioned when the shift began because his time on Mountain Men was full of iconic moments like riding a horse through the Carolina woods, looking completely at peace. Yet beneath that image, Eustace admitted he was exhausted. An insider even joked that he had chopped wood since the 70s and finally felt the weight. Sympathy grew as people realized even the toughest men reached their limit. He explained that living in isolation for decades was breaking him down. His admission crushed many viewers who dreamed of leaving their 9-to-5 jobs to live like him because now they looked at their camping gear unsure whether they could carry the burden he carried. To calm everyone, he said he was not giving up. He was finding balance, and balance meant accepting that the world had changed. But the moment he embraced small modern comforts, social media had a meltdown. One fan wrote that Eustace using modern tools was like Bigfoot. Having a membership at a wholesale store, his popularity grew as more people wanted to understand him. Rumors spread that the pressure came from government regulations or tourists filming content in his forest. Others said he was tired of pretending. Dr. Fern Maplewood, a wilderness lifestyle psychologist, joked that you cannot live off the land when the land has a full film crew around you, calling it eco-burnout. And Eustace had it. He also admitted that he sometimes drove a truck into town, and the internet erupted. Fans called it the Great Pickup Truck Incident, and joked that he might soon be binge-watching movies in his cabin. But Eustace stayed calm and said he was tired of the pressure to be perfect. Close source said he realized self-reliance did not mean rejecting everything. It meant understanding the world and using what helped. Tabloids made everything bigger. Influencers shared guides about embracing nature without giving up entertainment. And fake rumors appeared claiming he was writing a memoir called Between Acts and Outlet. People could not get enough of him because, for the first time, he felt human. Many fans even admitted they liked him more now because they finally saw his struggle. But the biggest twist came when he revealed that he almost lost. Turtle Island Preserve. Trouble began after he purchased the first piece of land. He dreamed of protecting a tiny, untouched bowl of earth surrounded by development. But as the preserve grew, someone filed a complaint. Officials raided Turtle Island and found many structures. Without permits, they demanded that Eustace either bring them up to code or tear them down. True to his stubborn nature, he refused, and the conflict grew into a public battle. A mysterious envelope arrived for officials containing color-coded maps of everything allegedly built without proper approval. Investigators found wiring that did not meet requirements, wood stoves set up incorrectly, and outhouses used by the public. One consultant even warned the buildings might be unsafe. Eustace argued that the government had missed the point, because he was teaching primitive living, and you cannot do that in modern structures. He believed it was a human rights issue and stood firm. He posted interviews with an inspector who supported him and explained that the buildings did not meet modern codes because they were not modern buildings. Eustace then claimed the entire attack was personal and insisted someone wanted him shut down. Mountain men showed this struggle, and at one point he received a court document saying his land could be taken. He tried to raise money by selling firewood and even rode into town on horseback to make a stand. But everything collapsed when a visitor named Kimberly Baker sued him after a stone from a sling demonstration hit her eye. She settled for $400,000 and demanded $75,000 from Eustace, which he failed to pay, leading to another lawsuit. He could not comment on whether the show portrayed the events accurately, but he admitted the show dramatized life more than necessary. He also revealed he sometimes acted wild in public because people expected it. The situation spiraled until the public turned against the officials, accusing them of targeting a man who lived differently. Later, a new law was introduced to exempt primitive camps and structures from certain building codes, and once it passed, Eustace was able to continue teaching wilderness skills again. Today, he still teaches natural living and insists the knowledge must be preserved because it is part of our human birthright. With everything Eustace revealed, the future of Turtle Island is still uncertain, and some say he may lose it one day. But his confession has already changed everything. If you enjoyed this story and want more incredible revelations, make sure you subscribe to Hollywood Bulletin and press the bell icon to stay updated.